Hello there. Welcome to my 9th episode of Dyson Sphere Program. I'm going to load up the game. We're going to load up 8A. I've just published a video that is a time compressed, what would you call it? Time compressed version of what I did over the weekend, which basically amounted to going around to all of these patches and putting in, my, version of, how I like to do these, gathering things basically. So we got them all tapped basically now. I also did, was it a couple of trips? Might have been a couple of trips, can't remember, over to AOC GeForce and got a whole load of titanium and silicon ore. Well, not too much silicon ore, or silicon plates rather. I also put a wind belt round our planet. This is my version. I mean, it's not, other people have done it, it's not original to me, but my version of the solar solar belt. It's less power producing, but the big advantage for me, is that it doesn't block you if you're trying to go across, the thing. You're not having to fight a load of solar panels and going over them and all that sort of rubbish. And it generates a fair odd amount of power, so we have a bit of headroom. So we've got a capacity of 155, and we're currently using about a third of that. A lot of the base is sat idle, and we're not doing any research. What I did do in that sort of, shall we call it missing episode, as it were, missing stream, was I researched a bunch of upgrades. What did I do? I think it was these vertical constructions and swords stackers. I can't remember what I did. I know I basically brought it up to the point where we need purple. Oh, we could do that actually. I guess, is that telling me I can do that because... I think it's telling me I can do them because I have queued up the requisite researches. So in other words, those would be finished by the time I came to do this. If I cancel these out, I think it would get me that message about you need to do the thing. So shall we? I'll add them to the queue. I'll show you what researches I've queued up. But basically, I mean, we can do these, but there's kind of no point. Well, as it says there, I mean, we need those researches anyway, but, they are doable based on our tech level. But everything else is waiting for us to do mech level 4 on the actual mech, and, capacities and frame speeds and all that sort of stuff. But to do that, we need purple, so we need to get to purple before then. We need purple for that one as well. So, yeah, some of these are technically doable, but, most have reached a point where they're either blocked by a research or whatever. The 3 researchers I have queued up are the reinforced thruster. This is what we need to have our drones go interplanetary. The high strength titanium alloy, which is what we need to make both the interplanetary... Well, it calls it interstellar, doesn't it? But it's interplanetary. I guess it is an interstellar as well, because it lets you go to other star systems with your drones. And also the vessel itself requires this high-strength titanium alloy. This is quite important for quite a lot of technologies that are coming up. And it's kind of one of those things that the game does where... How can I put it? We need to make a fair bit of that before we can do the things we need to build in order to bring it to our main planet. Because of course they're on AOC 4, you know, the titanium. We have basically no titanium on this planet. So we need that stuff. But in order to make that as well, you see, you need sulfuric acid. So we can't simply make it on the other planet because that planet has no oil on it. As you would expect, because it's a gas... sorry, it's an ice planet, so it's probably never had life on it. But there's all sorts of things we can do, you know, that we could unlock, but I have not... well, obviously, it was off stream, but you know, there are some useful things we can unlock, so we could do these replicators, level 2 replicators. They're the ones that operate at parity speed with our thing. We can do the whole deuterium stuff, so there's loads of techs we can unlock, but I've just simply queued up the 3, you know, that will get us the interplanetary stuff, because I like, or what I think is probably a way of doing it. I'm not entirely sure. It may get blocked by other techs, but what I want us to do is to try and get that interplanetary stuff, even if it's relatively low speed, relatively low volume, get that running so that we have titanium coming here automatically, because as I say, it is used in quite a lot of stuff. Well, also we've got the silicon crystals that we need for that, so they're on... Am I actually making silicon? I don't think I'm actually making silicon crystals over there, but we will make those. And these require... oops. Oh, they're not too bad actually, because they're circuits, aren't they? Is it that one that you need? Oh, it's graphene. Okay, so I could theoretically make them. They're fine as well. Is it this stuff that you need? I'm sure there's one that we're going to need in almost... Oh, there you go. So carbon nanotubes, which are quite an important tech for information matrix, because it requires carbon nanotubes, because it uses these, which require carbon nanotubes, and the silicon crystals. So really, before it becomes a viable technology, we need to be shipping, or a viable step in our technology progress. We need to be importing titanium. Yeah, okay. So what we're going to do? Well, I'm going to start that research. What I'm going to do is set up the production of... Sorry, just rearranging my cables and bits and pieces. I'm going to set up the production of the planetary logistic stations. Now, as I said before, a lot of these I'm happy to make, but these are such a pain in the bum to make that although we don't need very many of them, you know, they need such sort of advanced stuff, like for example titanium, that I'm just debating that actually with myself. Should I manually make them? I mean, because we need the microprocessors and whatever that's called, these things, whatever they're called, particle containers. So in theory, I could. We want to be making drones anyway, which requires us to make thrusters. So I want to be making them no matter what. But I'm thinking actually maybe I do hand make them, certainly for now. And instead I set up production for, you know, these processors and the what else do they need that's unique? Oh, the old particle containers. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do some production for those two, and these, and then I'll just manually make a couple of those. Because what we want to do is we want to bring titanium over here, don't we, really? Because we need that for the hydrogen fuel rod. But we need to move it around. Because I'm wondering if... No, I should do that, I guess. Right, so... how do I want to do this? I haven't set up an automated thing like this on my... Do I need the carbon? I do, don't I, for these? Because those are part of... Oh no, no, that's steel and... So it's processors I need to make, which are circuits and whatever these are. What are those made from? Oh, they're made from silicon. Okay, because I'm pretty sure I put the silicon over here somewhere, didn't I? Yeah, there we go. So I could... What's the production on them there? Because this is steel and copper, so I could make them relatively easily over here. Because where's my steel? Here's my... Is that my steel? Yeah. So if I bring you over here, are you going to let me do that? You're going to let me do that, okay. So I could bring the steel down here. Just thinking about where best to put it. Because we could have it here, couldn't we? We could come down there. Or and have a splitter here. To bring us a bit of copper. I'm probably going to have to landfill. Oh, it's there. Okay. So if I have a... Now what are the ratios like? So 4 seconds. 4 seconds but requires 2. So really we want a... What else does that need? That needs steel, iron plate and the circuits. Okay, so we could have something here. These two lads. These two lads making thrusters. Oops. I streamed Crastorio at the weekend, and I was hitting the wrong keys for that. This is really loud in my ears. I don't know if it's loud. I think I'm gonna turn the fundamental volume down. Because it's the music that's really loud. But that's where I normally have it. That seems a bit better. Right, yes, so these need to grab steel. And yeah, I was saying I've played Crastorio again at the weekend, streamed it. I think I've decided not to stream that again, or at least not to stream it sort of on... Well, I might use it as a test stream, basically. Might as well have a chest eagle to grab a few, just in case. Yeah, I decided to... I might use it as a test case. For... Now, what we need to do is we need to make... Because we've got iron... Where's iron plate? That's iron plate there. But they're the wrong sort of circuits, aren't they? Iron plate and thruster. So we could bring iron plate out of here. Where do I get... So I need to make these. And they're green circuits and those things, and they're made out of silicon and copper. So if I've got copper there, so what are they there? What's the ratios? 2 of them in 3 seconds. That's not very good at all, is it? You need quite a lot of them. So they take 2 seconds to make each. So we would, in theory, need 4 seconds. 4 machines to make 2. How many do these require? 2 every 4 seconds, so it wouldn't matter actually. Oh, so really we should have 2 machines, crikey. So it's quite a big production change. So I think really we'll just do our one, you know, 1 and 1, and it's, you know, all slow, you know. So if I do something like that, and we can do the half height trick with this, I think. Just bounce it over. Will that work? It probably won't work, I think, because it's too... Yeah, that's not going to work, is it? I think that's too far away anyway. Because you need a gap of 2, I think. So, are you going to work for me? Oh. I've forgotten what I'm doing. These require iron plates and thrusters. So we can have the iron plates and thrusters there. And this machine here will make drones for us. And stick them in a chest here. It's going to be slightly reinforced thrusters, okay, so we can make them as well now. It's going to be slow, but we might as well get it because I don't think they stack very high. It's you know, sort of relatively sort of low number that you can make. So now these require silicon and copper, and these require circuits and those. Okay, so we can potentially do, if that's silicon and copper, and then this is, are things in the right place? They aren't really, are they? So, but do I want any of them? They're probably used in something else, but I'm not sure what. See, we want a stack of them so we can pass through here. You know, we want something like this going on. So if that machine is making processors for us, it needs green circuits and those lads. Okay, so actually it doesn't work, does it? So maybe if we have the machine, it's probably too close. Yeah. Is this too close as well? Yeah. So that's in the wrong place anyway. So let's put the machine here. All of this sort of snaky rubbish will go away. And it's the things we're building now that will ensure it goes away, if you see what I mean. These logistics drones and the logistics system is how we kind of ensure, or how we produce much more efficient designs. So you're there, so you're going to need some green circuits, right? But you also need to make... Should I be weaving that round somewhere else? Because it needs green circuits. But it also needs these microcrystallines, which are copper. So, if we bring copper over, in theory we could get the silicon in there maybe, because our silicon is over here. How might that work? So if we did do a... If we output from there and take it up 3 levels, doesn't work. Can it go up 4 levels? It can go up 4 levels. Do we want it to though? Because what we want to do... Oh, I want this to connect to here. So this is too sharp. So I want that to connect to there. Excellent. So that needs power. And this is going to make... Probably got the wrong things now, haven't I? This is going to make these lads. Or it'll be too close or whatever. So that's going to make those lads. So we'll pop in another Tesla tower. High strength titanium alloy. But it also needs circuits. Now we have a perfect opportunity here to plop in a splitter. I don't want that to be defaulted to high. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate. Take this down here. Oops, wrong key. And insert that there. Probably don't need high level splitters, do we, if it's that slow. Not splitters, inserters. So you're making drones for us. Are you backing up or anything? It is slow, and I'm fully aware of that. We could produce some more, I think, relatively easily, couldn't we? Could we? That seems to be making them faster than I thought it would. They take 2 seconds each. Two seconds to produce one, but it needs 2. So in theory this should be being sort of hamstrung by it, but it actually seems to be sort of overproducing actually. No, maybe it is going down slightly. Slowly. I mean, this is definitely, slowed by it. That's fine. Right, so we've got 11 of them. Now, what I do want to make, is these lads. Which are graphene, copper, and electromagnetic turbines. What about them? What are they? Oh, they're refined. Oh, have they changed the name of that? Wasn't it refined titanium or something? Yeah, anyway, if we want to make some of them, then we need copper, graphene, and electromagnetic turbines. So, we've got electromagnetic turbines there, but they're pretty damn trapped. However, we have a spare electromagnetic turbine production over there, which we are not putting into a chest. So we could take electromagnetic turbines there, sort of siphon some off. That's can I move it one over? Or is that too close? Nope, you're fine with that. So if this is making these, it also needs copper and graphene, which isn't this graphene? Yeah, that's graphene. Excellente. So what we also need up here is copper. We have copper over there. And we've also got it there. So we can certainly bring it over. It's a case of where is it the easiest to do that. I think running it round there is probably going to be best. Or easiest anyway. But it doesn't quite suit how I've set these up, I don't think, does it? So if I do one of them and one of them, is that enough room for me to get over? Set the actress to the bishop. Yep, that works. So this is copper. Do I want to take it down to ground, or I'll keep it up in the air because. So I want to go to about there and come down to ground. That should work. So you want some of them, and then we want a chesticle. Oops, wrong place. Not that it really matters, but chesticle there, which we then feed in. Couple of stacks. Pop a. Where is the nearest power? Yeah, let's put it there. So this should then be making our particle containers. Oh, one of the things I did, I went and added some solar panels to these. Intention is to use batteries over here, but this is I prefer doing, if we're going to do belts and stuff, I prefer doing it up here because you get a better, particularly on a planet that doesn't have a particularly aggressive orbit inclination. So this solar panel is still working. Well, no, these couple here are not working, but these are working. And you can fill this in. My intention was to put batteries in here, but I think I might have misunderstood how the accumulators work. I don't think they charge in quite the way I was expecting. Because on my test map, I don't think they're working. Yeah, so that's all of them done. We're about to finish our other research. So we really need to make reinforced thrusters, but that requires the whole titanium alloy. Research result. You have a space elevator. So we now have the logistics vessels. And you see they require refined titanium as well, which is here. And that requires titanium, steel, and sulfuric acid. All of which we've got and or can make. But we're still in the position of needing to manually ferry the titanium round. What do these actually take? So they're more particular accelerators. The idea with them essentially is they're like upgraded planetary logistics, so it requires a planetary logistics to actually make, and then you have to slap a load of them in. So we really need to be making titanium alloy, don't we? Because this is quite a good place to make, you know, the titanium alloy. Because I could probably take some of this steel. Where is that? There's a steel. So we can take some of the steel over, and we can make sulfuric acid from some of these petroleums, and we can have another stack of these lads, which we can put, titanium from the other planet in. Okay, shall we do that then? So what I'll do now is I'll do a quick run. Is this a good place to... Is this a bit close? This is probably a bit close, but... bugger it. Yeah, so I upgraded all of the stack sizes. That's what I did, over that thing. So what I'll do, I'll slap these in here. In fact, do I want to take stuff to the other planet? Because what we need to do on the other planet is stick on some power stuff. It's basically tap out the resources there as well. I didn't really get chance to do all that. And I do want to take them over. So okay, so what do we want to leave here? What do we want to take? We might as well leave these here because we've got them on the other planet. We need the power. We might as well take. Oh, well, might as well leave them actually. Leave that. I'm not going to make anything over there now. These are all sort of componenty things, aren't they? The hydrogen I'm going to use when we go to the other planets because it has a better recharge rate. The question here then is, do I want to take all of this stuff over to the other planet and sort of leave it there? Well, I don't need. Let's put that. Don't need that or that because we can't do anything with them over there anyway. So might as well not take them. And fluids, no real point taking that. Everything else, I say, I might sort of leave on the other planet. Yeah, because I'm not sure whether I'll do another. I'll do that in the interim. How the mech powers itself is it takes these first. So if you just want to use some specific fuel first, you can do that one there, and then you can sort of rearrange it, and they'll switch to the other the other fuel source basically, or you can just take it out completely. Yeah, okay, so if we do a run and we want both silicon really and titanium, I might try there's a little, it's unfair to call it a cheat really, but it may be intended. You can hold an infinite amount of stuff. So as in, when you pick things up, you can literally, you know, hold as much as you can sort of click on. And because you can do the whole control click, shift click like you can in Factorio. Hmm. Apparently it's gone all framey. I wonder why. Because oh, we've just done a research, sorry. My stream is a lot higher than so why has that gone all framey then? It looks fine to me. It's telling me the stream health is poor, but the output from OBS is just exactly what it was normally. I don't know. Right, need to slow down. So you see, we burnt all of the hydrogen we used. It doesn't. It's if you're going to burn hydrogen, it's best to do it really in the hydrogen fuel cells. I don't know. The playback looks fine. I don't know. I don't understand some of this stuff sometimes. While that's charging, let's see if we can't look at the settings, see if OBS has changed something. Primary, so the output, so that's still exactly as it was. No, I don't know why it's moaning about that, because it's exactly as it has been for all of the streams I've done. So why it would suddenly now be moaning about the bitrate and stuff, I don't know. You tell me, you explain YouTube to me. Right, so that's us all charged up again. No fuel. Why are you complaining about having no fuel? Ah, because all of this coal is basically used up. Okay. So really I should come and put some solar and stuff on here sooner rather than later, shouldn't I? What was this planet's ratios like? So wind is better than solar. Okay. Right, we're going over here. Right. Where's our... Oh, that's over there. No? Over here. So this is all of our stuff I've sort of transported over. So that's another boost there. That's good. Oh, I should have left them on the other. So these are all things we can leave here for future use. Yeah, let's do that. Well, I don't really need to leave that many of them here, do I? All sorts of bits and pieces. Should I leave the solar panels here? So I'll have to come and sort of grab some more. Grab some, put some more power down. I'm just wondering, should I do that on this stream or not? Really, they're still moaning about it being poor quality. It all looks fine to me. I don't know. Right. Because that's the only bit of coal we've got on our planet, isn't it? I think those three. Yeah, 38. 650, and that's all that there is on there. Am I actually tapping all of them? Yeah. So that's literally the only coal we've got. And there really is no oil or anything, is there? No. No. Okay. Right, so the trick, right, is basically that, you see how that's, so we're full, we've got all of that. But what you can do is if you control left click, right, it just adds more and more stuff to your cursor. So we've now got 23,630 in our hands, basically. Now, I think I'm just going to take that and head home, because you can get into the difficult side of it, and you'll see me doing this on the other episode if you watch it, is if you have too much for the capacity of stuff you've got, because I can't do anything with, oh, well, if I hit delete key that will just get rid of it all, but we don't want to do that because this is precious titanium, but we've nowhere to put it. So if we don't have enough storage back on our other planet, I've no option but to delete it, or to, you know, stick it in random chests until I don't, you know, until there's enough space for me to fiddle about and move stuff around, or lay down more, you know, more chests basically. So you do have to be careful with it, and I don't like using it because, to me, I think it's unintended. I don't think that's, you know, what the developers really want, because it is, you know, it's quite cheaty in a sense. As I say, I think that's probably not what they intend. Oh, so it's now saying excellent for street health. You know, you tell me. Yeah, it's. I'm going to have to put power on that planet sooner than I thought I was. I thought I'd be able to get away with the streams today. Sorry, the streams this week. I'm actually on holiday next week, so I was going to do even more streaming. Or certainly, you know, play it and get these. Because we've not even been to that planet yet. And that's got tons of useful stuff on it. So we could quite easily... What does the... Oh no, it won't let me do that, will it? Oh! Oh no, I just lost all of them. Oh, bugger. Why did the V key do that then? I was trying to look at the orbits. Oh, I've just lost all of that titanium. That's really annoying. So it's got to be unintended behaviour, hasn't it? If hitting the V key just to see the map causes you to drop and delete all of those items, they can't have intended that for that to be how it works. I was trying to look at the orbits because we could do something where we use that other planet as a sort of a place to make stuff and bring it here rather than bringing the raw resources here. Oh, that's really annoying. I'm just wondering how long ago the autosave was. Splash. How long ago was our last autosave? It was a while ago, wasn't it? No, let's just learning exercise. And you're out of fuel as well. Why are you out of fuel? Because there's no hydrogen. We're only using a tiny amount of the graphene that we're making. So you're out of fuel. It doesn't make a lot of difference. Okay, so let's head over here. I didn't know that if you know, hit the V key or whatever. Presumably it does the same if you hit the M key. You know, look at the map. I had no idea it just deleted everything. I mean, you know, that's why you've got a delete key, surely. Right. So if we put them in there. Let's do that. Get rid of that. Have we got a... haven't really got a charging station here, have I? So if I plop down... Actually, I'll need to make them, won't I? Because I've just stuck all my resources somewhere else. Just going to pop some more of these down. And there. And all of them are that. And there. These down. Right. Okay. So we need to do another trip and not be quite so dumb. Right, okay. Where's our other... where are we headed? Up here? It's number 4, isn't it, that we want? I wasn't planning... I was going to just do the one trip. And carrying all that stuff would just let me fill up the chests. That's annoying. How are we doing research wise? And upgrades. I could probably do... What was that? What was that? I could probably do... Can't do that one. Can do that one though. Yep. Oh well, lesson learned, I guess. If you're using that cheat, well, it's not really a cheat, but it's also, as I say, I'm pretty sure not the intended behaviour. Although I mean, I'm not sure how they could stop it really, because the only sort of viable option to me seems like, whoops, seems like maybe. What could you do? I guess you could put a weight limit on it. You know, you could say that if there's some kind of weight calculation you could do. Yeah, not sure about that. So basically, what I'm suggesting is you calculate the weight of the things you're holding, or a weight for the things you're holding, and if it's above a certain level, you can't, you know, maybe it stops you from lifting off. So that then you can only really use it on the planet, if you see what I mean. Interesting. So shall we give it another go? Let's wait to charge up first. Alright, then we'll charge, so we'll do the same again. Right, and this time we're not going to hit the V key. Right. I guess you could also do it on a just literally a numbers calculation, couldn't you? You could say if the number in the hand is more than, say, you know, what would be a sensible number, 5,000 or something, you can't lift off from the planet. You know, rather than a complicated weight calculation. Just do a simple X minus, you know, inventory capacity. Tells you how many you must be holding, because it's calculating that sort of already. The 25,058 is the 15,000 I'm holding plus the 10,000 in my inventory. Start slowing down. You don't have to slow down, you can crash into the planet at mega high speed, but it tries to do that, put you into orbit. Which is fine. But you can, if you're going sufficiently fast, you'll just shoot back off the planet basically, so you bounce off the atmosphere essentially. Where are we going? must be following this graphene, which is going over there. There we go. Right, so let's land there, and very carefully fill that up. Right, what we got? So that's full. Oops, that's not full. There we go. So put that in there. So we have an enormous stack of titanium there. Okay. So I need to charge up, and then we'll go and restock everything, and then we need to set up the production of titanium ingots, or no, what does it call them now? Where are they? Titanium alloy. Because it's all we're kind of missing. We haven't really got crystal silicon, but yeah. Because we can make both of them if we get the titanium ingots. And we can make both of these. How are we doing charge-wise? I think we're done, aren't we? Yep. In burnt graphene as well, I think. But it's terrible, like ratios and stuff. Right, so I need to go and grab materials from everywhere. Should we take some thrusters? I'd quite like some drones. See, it is very slow producing them, but, you know. Oh, they stack to 100 though. So do we need that many, really? I thought they only stacked to 10 for some reason. They've got loads of them. What else? Top up with some fuel. Whoops. Top up fuel. Top up steel. Or rather iron plate, rather. I thought that was steel. Where's steel? There's steel. Don't really need steel. Belts, need belts. So how many belts are? About 1,000, so we'll get rid of them. And oops, and then let's take all of them. And then how many of them we got? Yeah, we got plenty of them. And now we got a couple of stacks of them. That is good. And some of them. And what else are we missing? Not missing splitters, aren't we? Do we have engines? We've got engines. What about turbines? Yeah, we've got turbines. What about that? Well, check them, didn't I? Yeah. So head over to the other area. And grab smelters. Power things. Should I grab some more of them? I ought to, really, because in fact I should probably extend that. I've got quite a lot on the other planet, but I don't think it hurts us to be making some plenty more. Got them, top them up. I could just top that off. Don't have any of them, do I? No. No. Silicon. We have a meager supply of. Glass. Yeah, got some glass. Bricks. Let's grab another one. What the hay? Oh, might as well round that off. And did I have? I got cogs. Got all of them. Yeah. Okay. Right, so what we need to do is make some titanium ingots. The question is, am I going to make the actual ingots here, for example? I should... no, it's fine. Am I going to make the ingots, you know, here, for example? Here, maybe? Or am I going to make them over here? Because we need to make sulfuric acid, don't we? To make the ingots. And we need steel. And that was the steel. Is that steel? Yeah, that's steel. So we could quite easily make them here. Logistics carrier capacity 4. Excellent. So, the question, don't we need stone for sulfuric acid? We do. And water. There is stone somewhere relatively close. Stone. There we go. Am I doing anything with it? I'm not, am I? Oops. Am I making sulfuric acid here? I am. Because is that... If I'm making sulfuric acid over here, if I tap it off, will it just stop? What does sulfuric acid use? It also uses graphene, doesn't it? No, it's crude oil though, so that would give us a use for this crude oil. I'm tempted to do it, even if it means dragging another belt, you know, all over the place. We could logistics it in now. Is the other option. I could stick it into a logistics thing and bring it over. And I could show you the advantages of those. Couldn't we? Because we've got loads of things. Why don't we do that then? So, to make them steel, titanium and sulfuric acid, yeah. And we could then replace it basically with an interplanetary one. Yeah, I like that idea. So, we're going to need to build 2 of them, which might take us a while because we need all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, you see we run out of processors. Actually, I'm making the processors, aren't I? Yeah. Because I haven't got any stored up. You see, I should really be producing these in, you know, in proper bulk. See, they're quite easy to produce, but I don't know. What about if we just plop another one of these and another one of them? Can I get that across? That might be a little tricky. Not one of them. I could easily make more of them. Where do I put them? Created a little trap for myself here. Because I can't put another one of these here because, you know, a copper is an elevated line and it won't take things off elevated lines. And the silicon doesn't come down until there. So this is the only place I could put one of these, but I can't put an output anywhere apart from here. I mean, I could, in theory. Could I? Will that work? It's going to be very scrappy. So we make more of them there. We'll make more of them there. And we, for example, put both of them on a bell, but then I want this to go round, don't I? So if I do something like that, and this is output, and that's input there, that's input, let's do the two again, input there, input there, input there. So that kind of doubles our production speed of them. Yeah, okay. Need to limit that chest again though. Why don't I top this off like that? And then it won't demand them and we can build up a stack of them there. How are we doing? So this is the thing with these. You get to a point where you can make, you know, the intermediates and stick them in your inventory. But you get so many of them that it fills up. And also, when you're hand making a lot of stuff, it really slows down the production of the thing you want to make. Why are you still making some? I guess you must have a fairly high thing there, I guess. Yeah, okay. So, if we've got copper and steel here, sorry, copper and titanium here, where do we want our interplanetary one to go? Not interplanetary, our logistics one to go. We could probably just plop it here for the time being. And kind of feed everything round. I better wait until it's finished though, because they are very big, like deceptively big. I could certainly do some belting though. If I take this sort of to there, and then bring it down to here, then that'll be like one, and then take this over to here. So this is 2. So then we need the sulfuric acid, which we're coming out of here somewhere, and that's our third line. So if we then what the ratio is like, because I'm making titanium alloy. Oh, is it made in a smelter? Yeah, it's made in a smelter, okay. But it's 448. So it needs lots and lots of sulfuric acid. Although they take 12 seconds, so yeah. That's not too much of a problem, I don't think. So if we say this is coming down here, and then how do I want to do it? So if I have the smelters here, it's quite slow, isn't it? I think it was. So we have sulfuric acid on the outside. are we doing? Have we made it? Yeah, we've made it. Okay, so planetary logistics system. You see, it's huge, huge, enormous. We will plop it. You see the big what you do basically is you plop these around where you're making stuff. So we're going to end up plopping these. For example, with copper. What we'll actually do, because raw copper is not used for anything other than making copper parts, so we'll put smelting close to each of the patches for them. But then we will just simply feed in the materials into this, and then we will have localized, and they will then transport, because it all balances itself automatically, satisfies all the demand. We need a lot of drones to do it though. But it then basically automatically moves all the stuff around, and you simply have localized production of what you're going to make. Using the drones to bring the materials in, and then they put it back into, or you can have a separate one, but they put it back into the system, and then it's moved somewhere else. So you end up with like a towns-based structure, where you have a town that produces, copper, and a town that produces, I guess the oil products are, not a good example because they're more complicated, but a town that produces all of your, titanium stuff. So that's the sort of principle. So if we line this up, that'll make our lives a little bit easier. Is that right? I think that's right. So this is the planetary logistics system.
Logistics station. You have taken the first step to establish the interplanetary logistics transportation network. Provided the place of logistics station of the raw material is set to supply, the logistic drones will transport cargo to elsewhere with a demand on the planet automatically. Never forget to put the logistic drones in the logistics station, either the supply or the demand side. The logistic drones will only work for the transportation station they belong to.
So we're not seeing the old explainer guy for a while. Basically, he's just explained kind of what I'm doing. So what you do is you set what you want, either as a supply or a demand, and you have to put your drones in to do it. This here is charged. These drones operate via electricity, and you can fiddle about with these settings. So slide to set the max charging power of this station. Actual charge power equals max charge power times percentage of current energy loss. So basically you can set minimum load of drones 10%. So for example, you can set it so that the drones will fly about even if they're only carrying 10% of their stuff, or they will sit and wait until they've got, whatever you set this on, half of their capacity, for example, and they will fly about. And it kind of depends what you're trying to achieve, whether you want it's a bit like trains in Factorio, where you can set the trains so that they only go when they're full, or you can set them on a sort of a timer basis, for example, where I should be looking at the camera, shouldn't I, rather than my microphone. Basically, so you could have a train in Factorio, it leaves the station after a minute, even if it's not full, or you can wait for it to fill up. And it kind of depends how you want to balance your system, because something like, if it's a minute, then that means you will have a constant supply, but it might empty out every so often. If you leave it until it's full, then you probably end up with a lot more material coming in, but if your ore patch isn't producing very much ore, then it would take a long time for that train to fill up. So it's all about what your sort of personal preference is and how you want to balance your system. So what you do with this, basically, actually let's go to the other place, and what am I doing with power? And put the other end of it in, because there is a little trick you can do with the power where basically we're going to need to, unless I put it here, I can put the actual, I need to build another one, don't I, there, which I can't do because I haven't got enough stuff. What am I actually missing? So I can only make 35 of them because I've not got enough silicon on me. Okay. So I manually need to have enough silicon, unless these lads have built enough circuits for me. Ah, I've got 175 now, so can I build it now? Yes, I can. Okay. Right, so let's head back over. I was reading the there's a dev blog that it's actually from like when they were doing the Kickstarter, and it's been on Steam for a while. I just hadn't sort of read it basically, and it sort of explains the sort of how to put it, the fiction that they come up with, you know, the story of it, and I hadn't appreciated that. What that was, I didn't know. It's just about building, you know, a cool factory basically for me. But apparently, the fiction they come up with is basically that. So there's it's set in the far future, as you'd probably expect, and you are basically fueling / providing. Is this belt maxed out? It isn't, is it? So we don't really need any high level belt, really. Yeah. So what we need to do, okay, is we need to set one of these slots, and you can set multiple if you want, but you set the slots to accept the material that you're putting in, okay, and that you want to transport around. So, for example, we want, let's just use the middle one, sulfuric acid to be going in here, and so this automatically sets this as the sulfuric acid input. You have multiple in lanes, so you can get loads of material in and out, and of course you can use the fastest belts and all that sort of stuff. I'm not really producing enough to sort of justify that, but you can set a maximum amount for it to hold. So the capacity here, for example, it's set it to 2,500. You can also set it to do what you want. So here you've got it set to supply, which is what we want, but you can also set it to demand or just to storage. You can use these as gigantic storage chests. But yeah, so and basically what you do is you set, you know, this is where it's going to provide it from, right? I have powered this up, but I think I can't remember which way around it is. You don't actually have to power both of them necessarily, because your drones like have it up. Well, they'll charge up at one of the stations, but not, but are happy not to charge at the other. If you see what I mean, they'll do a trip, irrespective of whether they're charging at both ends. Does that make sense? I've not really explained that properly. So, which line do we want actually the output to be? We want it to be this one, really, don't we? So we want it to be that. Oops. So if we set this to be the sulfuric acid, and we'll again set that to be 2,500, and we'll attach this here, and it automatically brings up that filter thing, so you can select what you want it to output on that particular line. Of course, we're just doing the sulfuric acid, so we do that, and then we want to hop over here like so. So that's sulfuric acid. Now, how do you get the drones to do the job? Well, you simply insert them in. Now, one thing I haven't worked out, right, is whether it will automatically move drones to stations that need them, or whether it just does them between. Because you'll notice when I put these in, well, actually, if I put half of them in, right? Oh, right, they're not doing anything. Okay. Oh no, I've not set that to demand, have I? So we now got demand, so they go and, you know, move the stuff. Now it tells you this in transit is how much these drones are going to bring over, right? That's interesting that only there are 6 of them left. I wonder why they're taking a bit longer to set going. I wonder if it's to do with the charge, maybe. Maybe it's taking them a while to charge, sort of thing. But yeah, you can set the maximum range and stuff as well, so you can sort of fiddle with this to get it to do what you want it to do. What I was going to quickly show you, oh, there they coming back again, is I'm pretty sure if we put some drones in here, they'll also start doing, you know, start moving stuff around. So if I just put, say, you know, well, if I put 4 more, I think that rounds out the number, doesn't it? Now, are you lads going to do this stuff? Yeah, you see one of them's gone on that transport route. Oh, that's why they weren't going. Because there just wasn't enough material. So they're not going to fly unless there's enough stuff for them to send. Right, okay, that makes sense. So, is this all chugging away? Is this moving? Is this doing stuff? So it's sort of working, I think. Doesn't look like there's quite enough stone coming in. I suspect that's probably because we need to boost. There's more production capacity there, so if we boost the belt. What belt are we on? Yeah, we're on. You're going to get weird on me. Okay. So if we increase the belt speed. Now that isn't quite max output, so if we whack on one of them, how close do we get? So I probably need two blue. Yeah, that's a full belt, so I should have picked up, there we go. Might need to upgrade that to a blue as well. Or can I add on a blue? Yeah, I can add a blue, okay. Cool, okay. So that's sulfuric acid production. It's still not a full line going out. So we could add on another machine, I think. With no particular problem. Extending it further would require bit of jiggery pokery, I think, because of this situation, but I think we're probably alright. If we just add one more. I'm not actually using the sulfuric acid on the other end, so it sort of doesn't matter. But yeah, I suspect what happens with the drone is they have a home station, and then whatever jobs there are, they will do them. It doesn't quite describe it that way. When it does that description, it implies that it has to be at one end to do the job. So, in other words, these drones wouldn't do it, but we sort of just saw that actually they will. So, how are we doing? Is this full? Has this got everything in it? No. That's fine though. Okay. There's far too many drones in there to do that job, but that's fine. Right, so let's I'll put titanium here, and then these need to be making them, and we want a, let's put a big chesticle in. Cool, so that's the output. So can I get? Oh, well, I need to put some power around. No matter what. But can I get away with level 1 inserters? So if we just copy that recipe over. Oh, got the wrong one. There we go. Because it's quite a slow recipe, I think, wasn't it? That was my memory. So I might be able to get away with level 1s. Let's see. So it's filling up. It's a sulfuric acid that might be a bit slow. No, it looks like it's just okay. Because they're so slow to make, basically. Right, so level 1s. Oops. Oops. And then... Oh. So there we want. Oops. Wrong way, wrong way, wrong way. On the inputs here. This is where it gets tedious with production. The question then is there enough of the materials coming in to satisfy the demand? I think so, because it's sufficiently slow. If not, it's very close to how many we put down. I mean, we know that 6 is, you know, for level 1 belts, but these were very slow, so looks like we can support a couple more, perhaps not 9. Yeah, I don't think we could technically do 9, but we'll leave it as is. Right, so we've already got 100 of them. Right. But yeah, so that's how you use logistics towers, basically. You sort of set a supply point, set a demand point, or multiple, you know, so you can have multiple supply points, and then you can use the ranges and the supply amounts and all that sort of stuff to ensure that you're basically, you know, your entire sort of global system works. At the moment, this 180 degrees, what that actually means, although it sounds like half a planet, it's the full planet, because it go 180 degrees one way and 180 degrees the other way. So any way you slice that planet, both sides add up to 360, so this is supplying the entire planet, basically. On these smaller, planets, it's basically fine. My suspicion, unless you've fully upgraded, is if you have a bigger planet, and I don't know if there are bigger, terrestrial type planets, you would have to limit that, because it would take so long for them to move the material stuff over, that it kind of wouldn't work. Also, do you really want a copper vein over, or an iron vein over here supplying iron to something on this side of the planet, or do you want it to focus more on... Oh, there aren't iron veins. Oh, there's an iron vein there. It'd be better if that was the supply point, you see. Yeah, so, you do have to balance it, work it out, look at the logistics of it. They're pumping through it, aren't they? Right, so we now have the higher level titanium, or what did it call it? What did it call it? Titanium thingy. Titanium alloy, there we go. So we can now, in theory, make reinforced thrusters and logistics vessels, which would allow us to go interplanetary. If I make one of them, what does that look like? Am I going to have to manually produce that? No, okay. Because I'm going to need 2. Yeah, so I need some more of them. We should have made a bunch by now. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Top myself up. And make another one of them. Yep, that's cool. Because what I'm planning is we need to bring titanium in. Our best place to do that is probably actually, or to have one going, because the interplanetary works exactly the same way. It's just you need interplanetary logistics vessels and the interplanetary stations, as it were. So our best place to do this, bring titanium in as a starting point, is over here, I would suggest. You see, this was when the other stream, I basically brought all of this over. Not stream, the recorded episode. I brought all this over. So if we grab that, I'll probably go in there, won't it? There we go. So if I grab all of that. No room there. Bit of room there. Okay. We could take that over to the other place, couldn't we? We could take this over to the other thing. See, I find these very useful when you have these, because it segments your planet and lets you know, right, I'm now following the equator. Can I fit them in? I might not have used enough. Let's plop it in there for the moment, and then can we add another one on? We can. So I'll pop that in there and that in there. I want a couple of stacks though. Because what we can do, we can plop an interplanetary one over on the other side. And you have options then, you see. You can supply both of the interplanetary ones directly, or you can do internal. So you can have all the interplanetary, stuff, the titanium coming to one place, and then from there being moved across to the other one. Because, I say, the interplanetary ones are just like upgraded normal ones. So they do actually allow you to do local supply and demand from those big interplanetary ones. So you can just move the material over to where you need it, or you can have direct supply from the other planet. It's entirely up to you. These are, though, even bigger. I mean, look at the size of that bad boy. Look at that chonker. It gets really epic when you have loads of them on the planet. I haven't actually got too many on my test game because I haven't been doing a lot of.
You have established an interstellar logistics station and opened the first node of logistics transportation among the planets. With it, no need to transport cargo between planets manually anymore. Just set to remote supply in the site on the raw material supply planet. The logistics vessel will bring the cargo to the other planets with corresponding remote demand sites accordingly. Setting local supply and demand can also inherit the functions of ordinary logistics station at the same time.
So basically, it's kind of tried to explain what I was saying. So you remember our other one had three slots. This now has 5. And what we can do is we can put titanium ingots as our remote supply, remote demand, okay, and you can have it as local supply as well. So it's bringing the stuff in and supplying it out locally. Okay, now we will actually change that to local storage for the moment. We'll keep the max sizes. I do want to hugely boost this. I don't want drones flying about when they're half empty. The warp thing is basically when you have warp technology, because you also use these to go to bring stuff from other star systems, basically. And this is like they added these actually. You didn't have these before, because there was that tick box didn't exist. So what people were finding is they would set them up, set the things, and then the vessels would take off, and they would attempt to fly to another star system at suborbital light speeds, and it literally takes ages. Even though the game is scaled to make solar systems a lot smaller and quicker to traverse than they are, and the interstellar distances similarly are quicker to transit than you would think, than for us to do it at this nowadays, as it were. But yeah, so they would fly off, and literally years later in game time they would eventually arrive at the place. So you now have this thing that it says it must equip warpers. So if the remote distance reach the distance to enable warp, the vessels won't depart until equipped space warpers. So if it goes above, if the place where they're looking to get the stuff from is further than this warp distance, then they won't go unless they can equip the warper. That's how they've added. That's how they've changed it, basically. So you've still got the transport range drones, and you have both types here. So we can put in both normal logistics drones and the logistics vessels. Now what I'm going to have to do, basically, is power up my other planet, and I don't think that's going to be particularly interesting for this stream. The streaming series. So I may do that. May be what I end up doing Thursday and Friday. I don't know if I've got the time to do it off stream. That's unfortunate. So I don't really want to do it off stream. I don't really want to do it on stream, because I say it's a bit boring. I'd rather do one of those squished down compressed episodes. I don't think I've got time to do it. But then, but the irony is, what why it's frustrating is that next week I've just got the entire week of nothing to do, basically. So 12 AUs should be okay. That it won't. I don't think we have further to go than that, or at the very least they'll wait until the planets are close enough. I don't think their maximum distance is further than 12 AUs. AU's astronomical units. It's basically a standardised unit of the Earth to the Sun, I think, or it might be the size of our solar system or something like that. I think it's Earth to Sun distance. I think. Yeah, it must be. So that should mean they'll stay within the solar system, because we don't have warper technology yet. We can't make warp drives, so it's all sort of a bit irrelevant, but it means that they won't go flying off when we do get that technology. But yeah, I need to make some of them. But first I need to set the demand. I've set the demand, so I need to have an output, which we'll just stick on there and being that. So basically, rather than, they'll use this because this is further down the chain, so it doesn't. We can set up a mini system to do this, but the problem is, I say that because we can use this trick that the other end doesn't need to be powered. That should work, because I think that's the right way around. So if I manually, how many? If I make a couple of these just manually, say if I make. Because I need to set the production up for them now that we've got the titanium, but so if I make a couple of these, how many can I make? Can I make 5 maybe? Yeah, that should work. So we'll plop one in. I haven't made any yet, have I? Where are they? Oh, there they are. Put one of them in. Should I put some of them in? I should really, I guess, because eventually we'll want to move titanium over to the other place. I know this is cool. They actually sit on the thing. I think that's really cool. I mean, they do the same thing where they go in and out like the other drones. But yeah, I think it's really cool that they sort of sit there. How many have we got now? So we can put some more in. There you go, you see? So we've got 3 sat there waiting. One more. And we should be making a last one. You see how hand making gets very slow. I say I'm not. Right, so we need to go to the other planet. Do we actually need to? I should bring some silicon back with me, really, because we're sort of a bit low on that. I can take them with me, can't I? Let's just go, and I'll set that up and see if it will work. So that's set to local storage, remote demand. Okay. Right. So where are we going? Where are we going? So that's number 1. I don't know if you can see. Can you see the arrows at the edge of the screen? That's telling me where things are. It's a bit confusing at times, though. Oh, number 4. There we go. That was me being pulled in by the gravitational well. That. So it doesn't do a lot of that, but it does. It does just enough to give you that sort of flavour, basically. This speckly stuff here is the green screen problem. This sort of background speckly green stuff. don't think I'm going to solve that without spending quite a lot of money on... Because you can get like hardened, like stiff green screens. So I'm literally, mine is literally like a curtain, basically. It's like a green, curtain, I guess. And then it's on a tripod-like stand, basically. Just get a bit of juice. Yeah, you see, because I need to tap all of these veins and so set up wind and solar power here, you know, because we've been nowhere near productive enough with the titanium. So what I can do, you see, hopefully, in theory, is I can transportation, here we go. So I can put this down, because one of the reasons you can do this is because you don't need inserters to put the material in. You can literally just put it in using belts, like so. And so if we put titanium in, see, it has no power. Power off, cannot charge. Are my other logistics drones going to come and pick it up? So we're doing remote supply, local supply. So oh, there we go. In transit, minus 400. So there's at least one drone. 800, there we go. Now hopefully, because the thing you have to be, on my memory, the thing you have to be slightly careful with that is that obviously the amount of these connection points. Yeah, the amount of electricity that the drones have affects their speed, bit like the mech, basically. Oh, I've put greens on rather than blues. Yeah, a bit like the mech, where it's like are they coming? Here he comes. Here they come. That's my logistic drone coming in. So cool. Going down. Getting the stuff, and off it goes. This game gets so cool. They've done a really good job. And I say, it's only early access, so there's, you know, loads more. There's another one. Loads more to go. What they've done, breaking it down and sort of analysing it, right, is they've come up with some really nice models. Now, I suspect they may have to do some optimisation, some of these. Because there's quite a few polygons in some of them. Yeah, that looks like quite a structure. Now they might be being cleverer than you look, because you're mostly going to be viewing it as quite zoomed out. But if you look, oh well, that one's not powered. But if you look at something like these, that's a completely static model. It's not doing anything. And when we do have powered drain, all it does is an effect. All it does is a power effect. Yeah, which is a lighting effect, basically. So it's not moving in any way, shape, or form to show you that it's doing something. And like this miner, you got this circly thing here, which is relatively simple. And you've got a circly thing here, and then it's the blue flash. And that's it. That's all the animation the miner is doing. So it's quite clever what they've done to try and optimise it. Or these inserter things. You know, it's a relatively simple animation, and those are, look at that design. It's because they've gone for a style that is very simple and sort of cartoonish in a sense. It means that that fits, as it were. You're not expecting it to be, there's no grabby arm on it. There's no, nothing really happening, but it looks like it fits in the universe. Oh, there is a bit more animation there. Look. But so it's a very, in a sense, cheap animation, but looks like it needs to. And then the rest of it, to give it some pizzazz, is all done with the lights. So this is a lighting effect again. Yeah, it's very, very clever. So this isn't all. I mean, it's really full. But yeah, so that's also the trick, as I say, the power trick, that you don't have to power both ends necessarily. The caveat to that, as I say, is these, the actual vessels, drones, need enough power to be able to do their journey. Otherwise, they do slow down. So, I love that you can see, see them doing their thing. And actually, I think you can see it. Yeah, there you go. See it on that map. There they are, flying back and forth. It's so cool. Right, so because we're at the point really where I should put lots of power, put all of me, solar, wind stuff down that I brought up here. Oh, not them. My wind turbines, stick them down. Create some, solar arrays and. I need to do that next because this planet doesn't have enough power to produce the amount of material that we want. Because we want to be making, we want to be, grabbing as much titanium as we can and grabbing as much silicon as we can. We should make some of those silicon crystals that we need, as well as the actual silicon material. And the planet does also have some, really nice reserves of iron in particular. Copper, not so much, but iron, got loads of that. And there's loads of stone, but we've got quite a lot of stone on our other planet. So I should go around and, like I have done on our, our planet, tap all of these resources. But the question, what I'm umming and erring about, is whether I do that on stream. I mean, nobody watches these streams. Certainly live. Nobody watches them live, and only a small handful of people click on them when they're archived. So it wouldn't necessarily be. Look at that. That's way cool. It wouldn't bore my viewers because I haven't got any viewers. It's just whether I want to do it on stream or not. Let's head back to our other planet. Even if we do want to do that, I probably need to grab more wind turbines. So, what we could do, since we've got that going, why don't we belt over some titanium? Why don't we do that as the last thing? Why don't we send over? Should I do it with green belt or? Let's do it with this, yeah. So, why don't we send over, if we can? Where are we going? We're going over there. Okay. Why don't we send over some of this silicon? Are you powered? You're powered. Okay. Right, so we want to go over here. Where do we want to cross over? Let's cross over here. So I want to go up, cross, down. Okay. So we want to store silicon as well. Local storage, remote supply. Are you coming? It's with bots doing their thing. Because we can go back home and get our interplanetary lad to demand silicon as well. And where are we going? Here we go. Yeah, we can get it to demand silicon, and then we can fly that locally. You know. That's so cool. Right. Where are we? Okay, so that's over there. So here's our interplanetary good vibe zone. Cool. So it won't. I mean, it won't really be using it because this until this is sort of empty. It won't. This will be blocked basically. But what we can do is we can. Didn't I put some in already? Okay. So what we can do is we can also request some silicon. And do we want? We want remote demand. And should I actually put local supply on? Yeah, go on then. So they're not going to do anything for a while because can I build some more? How many more can I build? Oh no, I don't want to make everything. So I'll leave them to it, but what we can do is then go over to our other thing, following our equator so we don't get too lost. So this is supplying sulfuric acid, isn't it? Yeah. I can actually pop some of these out because we don't need that much sulfuric acid, and we can pop them in here. And pop them in there. And what we can do now, should I feed it into this chest, or No, what I'll do, I will output. So what we want is demand of titanium. Demand. And we'll cap that up 500 again. 5,000? 500. Oh no, 2,500 isn't it for one of these? And this one we will demand silicon 2,500. And what I will do, I will output this here like so. Is that right? What I'm trying to do, yeah, so that will have priority, so it will use up this material before it actually uses that. Right, so we can set the filter on that to be titanium. Yep, which it won't use. And similar sort of thing here. That might be tricky because that isn't going to let me connect, is it? And that's too early in the chain, so what I would really need to do... Oh, that's a bit annoying. I could go more. How much is in this? It's a bit annoying. If I do that, give a bit of space there. Can you reach to that? No, of course you can't. Why would you be able to reach to that? So can I connect that now? Yes. Okay. Might actually be better replacing them. Collide with object. I collide with your object. Right, so if we pop that like that. And similarly here, we don't want this. Doing preference. Does that work? Yeah, okay. So we'll weave this round and have output here be silicone. So, oh, set the filter to silicone. Have they not brought any silicon over? Oh, it's 400 in transit. Okay. Max charge side. Set the maximum charging power of this station. Actual charge power, max charge power, percentage of current energy loss. Do we think that means like the amount of, like the speed of charge that it'll do? Maybe. Not sure. That's our first silicon coming in. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you get the basic principle. This is sort of what we're eventually going to be going for, is lots of these, you know, charging stations. Not charging stations, logistic stations. And obviously I'm weaving it round because I'm feeding it in. But, you know, we're going to have lines coming out, feeding directly into, you know, assembly machines, which will then feed the material either back into the same one or into a separate one, which then can supply different areas. So, you know, so this stuff here, ideally we would be feeding into into one of these logistics stations and using it where we need to use it. But yeah, we'll have to sort of slowly build up that stuff. Why is the steel so slow? guess because it is just slow. So, yeah, that's a problem for another time, I think. Yeah, so that's that for this episode. This stream. We've got loads and loads of this stuff now, so yeah, so we can sort of build up, you know, quite a few of these. Even if I make a few of them manually, I'm fine with that. But really, I should sort of produce the logistics vessels and reinforced you know, reinforced stuff, reinforced thrusters. Now that we've got the titanium alloy, that's absolutely no problem for us to do. We can also start making hydrogen fuel rods, can't we? Now that we've got titanium coming in. Because it shows there they're 40 megajoules each with a fuel chamber generation of plus 200. They're really, really rocking. So it's 5 hydrogen, 40 megajoules, 8 megajoules, 5 8s are 40. So it's exactly the same amount of power. Obviously you need a titanium, so you're sort of using that up, as it were. But you get 200 plus 200 fuel chamber gen, and you can also stack those much higher from memory. So yeah, we need to make them, because that's how we want to power our mecha, basically, rather than all this carbon rubbish. Right, I'll just grab some more carbon rubbish, and we will call that a stream. So if you've been watching, particularly on playback, you know, thank you for doing so. Thank you for getting this far. Hopefully some of my ramblings was in some way useful if you're playing the game yourself. If not, then hope you just enjoyed it generally. I will return with this series on Thursday and Friday at around the same sort of time, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock GMT, and I will either have already filled the planet, you know, our neighbour Aralgis 4, with solar panels and wind turbines and all that stuff. I will either have done that in the meantime. I don't think I'll have time, but might have done that, or we will do that in those 2 streams. So I suspect it will be fairly boring episodes of me just slapping down wind turbines and solar panels and mining, you know, stuff. So that thrilling episodes to look forward to. But yeah, if you've been watching, thanks. Hope you've enjoyed it, and you might consider coming back for another one. If you did like it, then a like is always appreciated. If you want to follow this series further, then feel free to subscribe. Do all that lovely YouTube stuff that tells the algorithm not to bother recommending any of my videos to anybody. Thanks for watching. Cheers.